Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Natquascape. We're going to be doing an update on the ADA60P. Initial setup was from scratch, fresh biomedia, fresh soil, everything fresh, everything new, including the plants, including the hardscape. What did I get? A lot of melting. That's right guys, the plants melted back. Not all of them, but quite a lot of them actually. But I'm not worried because I have a theory of why that has happened. I've set up previous scapes, fresh, but upon reflection, not entirely fresh. What was the method that I used which actually got me success, which is coming up now? Well, the plants are thriving as you can see, and I had no issues with melting. Upon reflection, what did I do with this aquarium? Plants were added into fresh soil, everything was fresh, the rocks was fresh, the plants were fresh, the soil was fresh. The only thing that I did is that I had to go away for 2.5 weeks. I planted the plants, misted the plants, covered with cling film with a few holes, and basically I ended up having to do a dry start method for about 2.5 weeks before flooding the tank. Okay, what was the other difference between this ADA60P scape, which has suffered from melting, and this previous scape that you're seeing right now? This scape that you're seeing right now, the biomedia was already mature. The filter was mature. And I think that is the issue, guys. From now on, in every scape that I do, I'm going to use mature biomedia. Why don't we get a close-up of the ADA60P and let's have a look at what's going on. So here is the scape at day 4. And when you look at it like this, oh yeah, it's looking good. However, see that white fluff? It's not green, it's white fluff. Is that the beginning of a diatom bloom? I'm not sure. But I wanted to show you guys what is happening to this tank as it cycles in. Apart from that, everything is fine. I have had a little bit of melting crypts on some of the leaves, but otherwise looking good. This is a 3-week update. So I've had to switch the filters off. I mean, they do run quite silent, but you know, I want the audio to be good for you guys. So I've just switched that filter off for the time being. What am I doing with this? Injected CO2. I will be fitting in an inline CO2 because I think that works much better. So the Babitus, quite a bit of melt, not looking too good. Let me just get that focused in. Come on, Babitus. The Pinida feeder, yeah, most of the leaves have melted. I had some Java fern. Even the Java fern looked like they've been burnt, and honestly I think they have suffered from some ammonia burning as well. I am now starting to see the plants pearl, meaning they are producing oxygen. The crypts, let's get to the top. Let's get to the top of the tank. The crypts, yeah, a lot of them melting. You can see some of these. I'll zoom in there. You know, you can see they are not looking too good. But hey ho, such is life. You can't get all aggravated or upset by it. It is what it is, and this is how you learn. You know what, guys? Even the Henolanthium tenellum green down here, just down there, even that was suffering. But today I have seen some nice fresh growth. You can see that bright green leaf of the Henelanthium tenellum green, if that's how you say it. So now I am beginning to be optimistic that we are starting to get over the cycle of the tank, and basically we're getting somewhere. What is the key to success in aquascaping? It's patience. You got patience to learn about stuff. You got patience to try things. You got patience if things fail. Hey, that's all you need. It's a learning game, and every day is a school day in this hobby, but you know what? I love it. That is a basic update of the ADA60P, which, yeah, has suffered from a lot of melting, and I think, personally, that is due to high spikes of ammonia. So let's just quickly talk about how I maintain this aquarium in the first 2.5 weeks of its life cycle. Okay, so let's just have a think about what I needed to do in the first weeks of setting up this aquarium in terms of its maintenance. In week 1, I did 70 to 80% water changes daily. In week 2, I did 70 to 80% water changes every other day. And in week 3, I did 2 water changes of 70 to 80%. When it comes to week 4 and there beyond, I'll probably only do 1 or 2 water changes of 50%. So let's talk about the water parameters that I got whilst this tank was cycling, the ADA60P, which is switched off at the moment. So on day 3, I tested the water. Now remember, during that period, I'm doing daily water changes. The ammonia was at 1 ppm, so that's 1 milligrams per litre or 1 micrograms per mil. That is really high, considering that I'm doing daily water changes. Nitrite was 0, but nitrate was 2.5 parts per million, which is a bit strange, you know, but basically what we need to know is that the ammonia was really high, even with the daily water changes. Then I continued my water changing routine, which I just explained, and on day 13 I tested the water. The results were ammonia 0.2 ppm, nitrite was 0.5, so that's looking okay, and then nitrate was 40, so kind of going in the right direction. The key point is that the ammonia was going down. With the ammonia at such high levels in the beginning of the life cycle of the aquascape, well, at those kind of levels, the plants really did suffer, and they're going to as well. Even your kind of easy category plants can suffer with those levels. So, you know what kind of substrate system I've used to set up the scape. Look at the videos for that. And now you know, with this kind of setup, what kind of levels you can get in your water chemistry. So hopefully I've given you that knowledge so that when you set your tanks up, you know, you can learn from my experience, watch the channel, see what changes I have made to make the scape more successful in terms of not getting problems. So in a nutshell, for me, no more cycling tanks from scratch. Moving forward, I will buy a canister filter, probably a cheap one that's second hand, and I will cycle loads of media. I've actually went out and bought some ceramic media. I'm gonna get a second hand canister filter, like a big one, just set it up. And when it comes to setting up new tanks, I'm gonna cycle the tank with the hardscape in there only. Once the tank is cycled, then I would add the plants later. And then after adding the plants, I will then add the fish. In addition, if the plants are in vitro kind of grown, like I have here, like these are in vitro plants in these pots, or if they're grown immersed, potted but grown immersed, then I will look to do a dry start method for the first 1.5 to 2 weeks before flooding the tank. I may even flood the tank with some mature water and obviously, like I said, with mature biomedia. So some of these methods have worked fine for the scapes that I've shown earlier. I got no melting of the plants, just really good growth. So that is what I will do. let's choose a method that actually works for me. So because the plants melted or are melting, I bought some more plants from my local aquascaping store called Horizon Aquatics. Check out the link in the description if you want to see their website and what they do. And yeah, let's see what plants I've got to add to this scape. Alright, so got the plants, need to get them planted into the aquarium. Let's do it. So I've decided I'm going to get all of the old Analanthium tenellum green out. As you can see, the tenellum green isn't looking too good. It's not looking terrible, but you know what? Let's just get some fresh stuff in. Okay guys, so it's been a couple of days since I've added these plants, and I've also added the auto dimmable inline timer for the light. One thing that I have noticed today is some dust algae, string algae, and some diatoms. I'm actually happy about that, and I'm going to tell you why I'm happy about that. In my experience, when you start getting algae like this, and this is only for the initial setup, by the way, when you start getting diatoms and a little bit of dust green algae, your tank is probably cycled and is now ready for a cleanup crew. So let's just actually double check if the tank has cycle. Okay, so I've just done the water test. Ammonia 0, nitrites 0, nitrate in between 0 and 2.5. Okay, so 4-week update. It's been 4 weeks since I set up this ADA60P. You've seen that I've got some algae issues, minor, bit of diatom, minor. Water chemistry looks fine. This tank is now ready for some fish. So you know what the next video is going to be. That's right, we're going to be adding fish to the ADA60P. Obviously I'm going to have a cleanup crew, but let me know in the comments, what cleanup crew do you use in your planted aquariums and aquascapes? Subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss out on the next video where I add fish to this ADA60P. See you in the next video. Ta-ra.